Now, analysts also say in order for Modi to make good on his campaign promises, he will need to enact reforms across several parts of the economy. Starting with the labor market. Manufacturing makes up only 15% of the Indian economy. In China, that sector is twice as big. Modi wants to change India's strict labor laws to make it easier for international companies to set up factories. Tax reform is another target. Some analysts say replacing the state and federal taxes with just one national tax could add 2% to India's economy. And then there's defense. India is the world's largest weapons importer, and again, Modi is looking to have more foreign manufacturers set up shop in India to cut down on imports. For more on what this means for the Indian economy and the rest of the world, I'm joined by Saruhan Hatipoglu, CEO of BERI Consulting. Good to see you.
Hi, Phil.
Not a surprise. The markets are happy. The people appear to be happy. How big of an impact is he likely to make, at least in the short term?
Well, we're going to see that. Everybody actually was waiting for this, right? People were frustrated in India with Congress because of the economic problems and other social issues. So everybody is happy, but I think the stock market's growth and all that is going to be short term, because we have to wait until he comes out with the budget, which is going to be in June and July. And in the budget, we're going to see if he's able to carry out the pledges that he has made.
And we've seen this with politicians, not just in India, but around the world. A lot of promises are made, a lot of excitement, but when it actually gets down to making laws and getting people to agree on things, that can be a lot tougher.
It is, and also in India, it's even more tough, right? Because he has to deal with a lot of different ideologies and parties. Even though BJP actually had a great victory, let's make sure everybody understands that. This hasn't happened in India in over 30 years. But he's smart enough to get alliances into his team, I believe. He's not going to go at it alone, even though he can. He's going to get other states to his camp so they'll make it easier to pass reform measures. I think he's smart enough to do that.
In speaking to experts, one of the criticisms of the Indian government is that it's very bureaucratic. Not my words, other experts. And a lot of people, economists, would look at it and say, if they can just reduce that red tape, that would at least break things open a little bit more and get the engine going again. Can he do that?
It'll make a huge difference. And I think I would even go further to say it's not the central government, Phil. It's a study by JP Morgan recently that said the last 50 central government investment projects, 40 of them were stalled because of state red tape, not the central government. So he has to go back to the state leaders, chiefs, and work with them. He was once one of them in Gujarat. He knows how the system works. So that's why a lot of people and business is happy, because he knows how to compromise and show diplomacy in reaching these goals.
What's his first target? What's he going to do first, do you think?
The first thing that he's going to do is to convince the people that he has a broad alliance. That's very important to pass reform measures. A lot of people are saying he's going to do bank privatizations. He's not going to touch that for a while. I think he's going to go with putting the fiscal house in order. General sales tax is going to be an issue that they're going to deal with. And of course, foreign ownership is an issue that he's going to push. And also labor market reform is in the agenda.
Now, a lot of things that we talked about, the things he would focus on is domestic for obvious reasons. How much is he going to look at the international relationship with trading partners, whether it's with China or the US or Europe? Is that something he'll focus on perhaps later?
I think he's going to do it at the same time, but the focus will be on the domestic economy. You're absolutely right. But when he was the state minister in Gujarat, he got a lot of Chinese investment into the region. Central government couldn't do that. He was able to do it. So I think he's going to work on those business relationships as well, and create a different kind of strategy, what the U.S. is very much concerned about right now. We can see more of strategic alliances, enhanced cooperation between India, China, and Russia in the very short term.
One thing that has impacted India quite a bit is the currency issue. They've got, aside from growth, the inflation issue and the currency issue. Does he have the power, I guess, in that chair to shift that environment, or is the problem bigger than him?
It is quite big, quite challenging. It's stagflation, right? It's low growth, high inflation, and unemployment. If he's able to focus the right areas, for example, excessive government regulation contributes to stagflation. This is one of the things in the manifesto that he said he's going to take care of, or address at least. And of course, exogenous shocks he cannot do anything about. U.S. tapering, end of tapering had an impact on this. But labor market reform, I think, is something that he's going to address, and that will create more jobs in the medium to long term.
You got the jobs, you got the factories. What about trade agreements and treaties and bilateral trade agreements with other countries to make sure there's not enough foreign direct investment coming in. Might that be a focus?
Well, it has to be, because for the past 5 years, Phil, the foreign direct investment to GDP ratio in India was below 2%. That makes me angry, because India has a lot of potential to get foreign investment. But retroactive tax that they introduced, Vodafone being left with a 2.5 billion tax to pay retroactively, this scared foreign investors. And I think the BJP government is going to address that, and there's going to be more foreign involvement. But within BJP, there's strict opposition to retail and insurance. Foreign companies coming in and taking over that, or even taking a share of that. So he has a battle to fight at home within his party as well.
He has a big battle. And by the way, we don't want to make you angry. Nobody should make you angry. I don't want to see you angry at all, but I do want to thank you for your time, for coming on the show again. Saruhan Hatipoglu talking about the impact of a new administration in India. Thank you.